We are now entering the back room of the pub, where Michael Joseph Rahilly was born. Later he assumed the title of the head of the clan, Dio Rahilly. He was born in this room on the 26th of April 1875, and we have kept a lot of his stuff is here, that's since the time, and there are some new additions, but I try to retain the room as good as possible to the era it was. And first to meet us as we go in is the Rahilly writing desk, crafted by his own hands and made in circa 1892, we think. And he built it up here, so when they were moving, they couldn't get it down the stairs because there was a bend in the stairs, so he had to leave it here. It was his pride and joy. But when they moved to Dublin after, he built a replica in Dublin, and the family have that to this day, like I've kept this one. And now we will just show the different gadgets. And that's the captain's chair that was here as well. It's called the captain's chair. And these are very interesting because about 35 years ago we were going through stuff in the bar, and up in the top shelves over the bar were these lying face down, and they're advertisements for J.P. Coats. And J.P. Coats were a textile company in England, and they said that Richard O'Reilly, the O'Reilly's father, made his money investing in J.P. Coats, and they're one of the biggest textile companies in the world today. That could be ICI or something, it doesn't matter. But anyway, at that time, before they invented the spool, the timber spool for the sewing machines and for the cotton and thread was all done in hanks wrapped in cards. And they came up with this, and he saw the investment that was in it. He was a very astute businessman, and he invested in the spools and in J.P. Coats big time, and he made a lot of money. Like, he was also into inventing cash register and in fact he wanted to build an ice house in Ballylongford because he was a big exporter of oysters and salmon and herons in the back. They just come up the river here in barges and bring in the fish, and there it's called the Bridge Loft. It's a 2-story building out there. They packed them in ice, and they packed the fresh fish in ice, and they had to keep the ice in ice houses, and they took it to the railhead in the store by horse's car, and it was on the train to Dublin from the Stowell station and from the Dublin markets the following morning. And he had the oyster beds, and he bought all the produce from the Shannon, all the fish and shellfish and everything that was to be exported. He was into all that. But he got the idea that if he built his own ice making plant, that he'd be able to do a lot more of it, and he would have the ice on the spot. And he spent a lot of money investigating it, but it never came through. I don't know, that was... And then he invented a cash register, which copy of it below on the bar. And some traveller came from some company in England selling farm implements and machinery. And Richard O'Reilly was showing him the actual the cash register and how far he had gone in it. And your man took his idea, he infringed the copyright. They call it the intellectual, whatever they call the new intellectual property. And he took it back to England. The company he was working with made the cash machines, and he spent, it's there documented, and also in the book The Winding of the Clock, that he spent £100 in solicitors here. Could he take it to law? And apparently he couldn't, because they changed some of the actual. And this is a poem next to it. The O'Reilly's house in Herbert Park. It was written by a Dublin man who sent it to me, Marco Verden. This a partner ago, this one today. And these are a family photograph here. It's not I'd say a gone with the gun, whether it was an air gun or what. But the Republicanism was done, and the company left. Served in the GPO, he's never go. But the other he's never go. He was Mary Ellen's Nell's son. Also, Sheila Humphrey was also the director in the Mankind Megan, the family. Nowadays, they're having here in the training exercise. And that's him in full dress uniform, and that's him in the other dress uniform, the California. And that's himself and his father and his mother. Father and mother, Ellen Mangan, from Kerry, County Limerick, Richard Rahilly, and Michael himself, and the two sisters, Mary Ellen, Neil and Anna, taken here in the house, upstairs out there near the arch where you can see the arch out there. It was painted in the top. Then we'll go to this side. There's two chairs over here, the period, and the table, and as well as general merchants and everything, they were selling sets of ware and drink and meal and flour and everything, and we kept those perfect. Yeah. So I haven't done out there now with two cups and saucers from the period for afternoon tea for visitors. Now we have his rocking horse, or his little tie horse over here. It's made of paper mache, very fragile, but it was left here in the house, and Tom could, I thought I made it out to MJR as written in the bottom, but I think so, yeah. I said we're not enough for it. But that's all of his tales from his childhood. And this is the ale jug from the period, and it's copper, and this has seen, it shows its age. And the other Harry, he did a lot of, what is it now, 1 gallon in it is. No, I found it's stamped by the customs, but here to be the wrong measure. And I came across an essential. What's see that time? Is it MJR. Rahilly, it was Rahilly at that time. He never put it together. So it's there. They're all beautiful things to have because they're from the era and they're history test everywhere. And the other cabinet over here, and you can see it. It's a linen chest, holding the sheets and things shut. And now we have a couple of modern things to reform by Finucane, and a picture of the east window of the Dublin that way. And this mystery woman here, on top of the writing desk, and the second hand lamp. And I'm not sure I have this there or not, because Kitchener's at the Blackwood, where Lord Kitchener was from, up the road here. There was sale there in the early 30s, before the family that there now, the Dowards bought it. And my mother bought that at the clearance sale for £0.50. Now, I don't know, is it Chinese or what is it? I don't know, it's a symbol there. But it's historical, and it's from the era, and Kitchener was on the opposite opposing side. But I'd say the Rahilly wouldn't be small-minded. And this is the 3 monkeys that was in the ashtray. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And this mystery woman here, we found it in the house years ago. We don't know which is. So, this is the original floorboards. I stripped off the carpet. And they're Colombian pine like the bar floor. And they're as perfect as they were laid 200 years ago. And I just brought them out in varnish. I did the best I could for an amateur. So I hope everything is as it was, as near as could be. So I leave it at that.